The mindfulness is a practice of living and being fully present in a moment. Now, a form of practice is to sort of use your meditation and using the moment to fully be present. Another form of mindfulness practice is that you don't need to stop and take the time aside, but you practice mindfulness while you're doing something. There are a lot of mindfulness. We didn't call this mindfulness, but that was part of our culture. In Japan, we have a lot of mindfulness practices, such as flower ceremony or tea ceremony. We call kado, sado. A lot of the martial arts, you might have heard jujutsu, like a judo or kendo or aikido. When a Japanese discipline or practice end with do, word do, do means a path. And it sets a certain intention. It's a ceremonial, ritualized practice to facilitate mindfulness. We even have a practice called shodo, which stands for writing, a path of writing, and we use sort of like a sumi ink to using the brush to practice writing, but the energy in which we enter into the writing is what we are practicing. And I think we also have mindful eating, right? So when we're eating, sitting on the table, we're not eating with the computer or iPhone or doing anything else, but we stay in silence and practice eating mindfully by tasting mindfully, by feeling where the food came from and all of that, right? So in this video, I want to talk about what's beyond mindfulness, because mindfulness is a fantastic practice and I feel there's more. And the practice that I want to introduce you beyond mindfulness is called meaningfulness. Yeah. So let's explore what meaningfulness is. When do you feel something was or is meaningful? When there's a value and when there's some sort of emotional component in the situation or experience or circumstance. So when we experience meaningfulness, what do you feel? Let's think about anything that happened in the last a week or month or so that you felt that it was meaningful. Notice the language that I just used. You felt meaningful. You didn't think or thought that it was meaningful. Now, after the fact, you think and then you might have thought that it was meaningful. But the experience of meaningfulness is something that you feel, something that is felt. So whenever something is meaningful, it's inside of your heart. Something inside of the heart speaks to you. Now let's explore a little bit the heart. I often say that the heart is a gate that something deeper than that wants to express. What is something deeper than that? It's the soul that is you seeking expression. So when we begin understanding that we are a spiritual being and we were gifted this mind and the body, and we arrive in this perfect time, right? So for instance, the recording at the time of this recording is 2024. I'm here on earth at the perfect time. And let's say if everything is happening perfectly, you are born on the day, on the age, the year that was perfectly for you to demonstrate the assignment and mission on earth. The soul was chosen and the soul chose at the same time. The soul was chosen and the soul chose at the same time to arrive on this earth plane at the perfect time. Okay, then what is meaningful for you? What is meaningful for you? And begin exploring each and every encounter to turn that into a meaningful practice is the practice of meaningfulness. So mindfulness is to be fully present in the moment. And you can do that by setting the time aside or incorporating that mindfulness practice through breathing, through attention and intention in the activity that you're doing. Now, meaningfulness practice perhaps begins by sitting down and begin writing down what are the things that speaks to your heart's desire? And what are the things that speaks to something deeper than the heart, that it gives you this sense of, I am called to do this. I am called to do this. And I feel so energized and uplifting and expansive and so meaningful that overwhelming amount of gratitude comes up from inside of me, and I almost becomes tearful. Yeah. And what is that? And then can we begin incorporating mindfulness to create meaningfulness? What do I mean by that? So let's say, what if every single interaction and encounter is meaningful? Because if everything is happening for a reason and nothing is an accident, but everything is a part of the synchronistic flow, when you begin thinking, I want to go this way, and you start walking this way, and you encounter with somebody, or when you decide to leave a little bit later, and because you left later, you encounter somebody, yeah, you begin putting the intention and attention of meaningfulness in every single encounter, interaction, circumstance, and consequence. Then it becomes sacred. Every single moment becomes sacred. And I feel a difference between feeling fully mindful, being present in the moment, or in creating a sense of sacredness by feeling that heart fully open and energized and having every single interaction meaningful. How can we go take it a little bit deeper? Yeah. And then begin entering into this energy of meaningfulness, because you will feel so good. What is the feeling? I would be curious to know, if you are able to comment on below, feel free to comment. What do you feel exactly when you are experiencing some meaningfulness? It energizes the soul, right? It energizes the soul, and it gives you a sense of expansion. And when you are feeling the soul energized, you probably find yourself being in full gratitude. And what if that is who we are? What if exploring the meaningfulness in every single situation is the gateway and the path and the road to access and get in touch with the energy of who we essentially are? What if we can make that meaningfulness lifestyle a standard, so whenever you go, everywhere, you feel meaningful, you feel a richness of meaning? That would be, and just by saying and thinking about it, I feel excited about that kind of life. Yeah. So let's practice meaningfulness. If you have any question about how exactly to apply, although I feel like I explained it pretty well, feel free to comment. I will be happy to help you, to give you a little bit more detail. But I think there are two things. We have things that we do every single day that we might be taking for granted because it has become a part of the mechanistic routine. So we're going to break down and begin looking at that as a sacred activity. Another one, and including this one including the people that we're relating all the time, right? When somebody is with you for the whole time, you might not feel the sense of freshness or sense of sacredness or sense of deep appreciation, because the person is always there. You don't feel that way, right? The mechanical mind start taking over. So refreshing that is one thing that we can do to cultivate meaningfulness. Another thing is something that you have never, somebody who you have never encountered, or somewhere that you have never gone to, you wanna begin treating as a meaningful interaction encounter. Can we begin seeing a brief conversation with a stranger a meaningful encounter? Because it was meant to have it. You meant to have that, not by accident, but by design. And that might never come back because that was brief. That might come back with something else, who knows? But the more we put the meaning, the energy of meaningfulness, we can enrich our life to more of the open heart, energized soul lifestyle, and you will feel a completely different life. Same life can become a completely different experience by including the meaningfulness. So I will be so happy to hear if you implement this for a week or 30 days, how your life can turn into a magic. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any question, and I'll see you in the next video.